Hello fans, this is Crow for Crow's Crapology. Go to Crow's Crapology 2 on YouTube, go to Crow's Crapology on Facebook, go to crowscrapology.com for all your sports opinions and some other ridiculous stories. So we're going to talk to you about the NFL today. I got to pull this out, put this up here so I can see it. But anyway, just quick NFL preview for 2024. I'm just going to give you who I think is going to win the conferences and the divisions and the conferences, and what the other three teams are that are going to get in the playoffs, I think. So in the NFC East, I believe the Eagles are going to soar again. Woo. And win the NFC East. ESPN's trying to create a feud between Sirianni and Jalen Hurst. I think that's a bunch of crap. I think they just have nothing to report on, so they're trying to make something up. If it is true and Hurst comes out, it doesn't matter. You got Kenny Pickett to back him up, and that's a pretty solid team anyway, so they're still going to get by. All right, so the Eagles win the NFC East. The NFC West, the 49ers, led by Kyle Shanahan and that whole squad that is still pretty much intact, except Brandon Ayuk is not happy and Trent Williams is not happy. Trent Williams, they got to get him to play because he's the best left tackle in pro football, and he might be one of the best left tackles in pro football of all time. So Ayuk will probably be traded. I believe it's Pittsburgh and Cleveland. It's down to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and one other team right now. But anyway, so the NFC East is the Eagles, NFC West is the 49ers, NFC North is the Detroit Lions. I believe they win this division over the Packers. Packers come in second. And NFC South, I believe it's the Saints. A lot of people are picking other teams, Tampa Bay Bucks, to win this. I think the Saints, because of their defense, Dennis Allen being a good defensive coordinator, even though he's the head coach, not defensive coordinator. I think the Saints defense pulls them through. I think Derek Carr plays better since he's had John Gruden as a mentor, and I believe that they are able to get by the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then the NFC, I think the other three teams that are going to make the playoffs, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks make the playoffs. I think Baker Mayfield has a decent season. I think they do pretty well, and I think they get in there, that they finish right behind the Saints in the NFC South. I think also that the Packers get in. Packers did very well in the draft. They did very well last season. They won like 4 or 5 in a row at the end of the season. Jordan Love is a real NFL quarterback. They lost Aaron Jones, but they got Jacobs from the Raiders to replace him, and they got a lot of other good rookies. And I think Jordan Love can lead them into the playoffs. And then the other team, I hate to say this, but I just have to because of the talent level of this team, because the organization's pretty messed up, and the coaching staff, well, the head coach is pretty messed up. They brought in Brian Schottenheimer to run the offense now, which is a good idea, because good old Mike McCarthy couldn't do it. But the Cowboys, Jerry Jones Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? I think they're going to get in the playoffs just by sheer talent. They just have a lot of talent in that squad. And I think they'll overcome their coaching staff. But like I said, Schottenheimer's in now to run the offense. If McCarthy kind of stays out of it and let Schottenheimer run the offense, Brian Schottenheimer, they'll probably do okay on offense. Even if Prescott goes down, I know he had some sort of injury, I think they'll still be okay. Cooper Rush or someone else can come in and they'll still be all right with their defense. In the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills will win this. And the only reason they will win this is the Miami Dolphins cannot beat the Buffalo Bills. They have a hard time beating the Bills. McDermott kind of has their number. So the Bills win the East. The AFC West is the Chiefs again. Ho hum, what a surprise. Led by Patrick Mahomes and a high-powered Chiefs offense, even though their defense was better than their offense last year. Their defense was the number 2 defense, I think, or number 3 defense on the entire NFL, and their offense was like the number 7 offense. So the Chiefs and their defense and Steve Spagnuolo they win that AFC West again. AFC North is the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best organizations in the NFL. They have been for years. Their defense, their powerhouse defense, their offense. They added wide receivers this year. They added some other. They added a deep receiving threat this year. Ravens win that NFC North or AFC North. AFC South is the Houston Texans. Since they hired DeMeco Ryans, they've been doing everything right. C.J. Stroud, I thought, would be a good average starting quarterback in the NFL, maybe a little bit above average, but he turned out to be really good. I don't think he's going to have as good a season as he did last year. I think he caught people by surprise. I think they have a lot of film on him now. They're going to see his tendencies and what he does, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do, what he audibles into in certain looks and things like that. These defensive coordinators study this stuff intently. And defensive players, some defensive players do too. And I think he's going to have a harder time this year moving the ball down the field for the Texans, but I think he'll still get the job done adequately. And the Texans have a strong defense, and they have a strong offensive line, and they're improving their running game. So I think the Texans still win that AFC South. Then the other three teams I think are going to make playoffs in the AFC. I think you're going to have the Dolphins out of the AFC East, led by Tua Tagovailoa, and I believe the Jaguars get in, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they bounce back from last year. I think Trevor Lawrence just gets better with Doug Peterson as the head coach. I think they do a really good job on offense this year. Their defense is good enough to get them into the playoffs. The third and last AFC playoff team, I believe, is the Cincinnati Bengals. People are probably going to laugh at that, but I think Joe Burrow has a comeback season. I think their defense gets on track, and I think the Cincinnati Bengals slide into the playoffs in front of some of the other teams. The teams in the West aren't very good, the AFC West. AFC East, you're going to have the Dolphins and the Bills. The AFC North, you got the Ravens, and you got the Bengals and the Browns. AFC South, those teams, a lot of people are putting the Colts in the playoffs, but I think as long as they play Richardson at quarterback, I don't think they're going to get in there. He's really not an NFL quarterback. So anyway, that's what I think. I think that the Lions get in the Super Bowl, and they wind up playing the Ravens. I think the Ravens become the AFC champions. I think they beat the Chiefs in the championship game. And I believe the Lions win the championship game in the NFC, and they get in the Super Bowl. It's Ravens, Lions in the Super Bowl. This is Crow for Crow's Crapology. Go to Crow's Crapology 2 on YouTube. Go to Crow's Crapology Facebook page. Go to crowscrapology.com for sports information, predictions, and just some other, sometimes ridiculous stuff. I try to put a little humor in it sometimes. But anyway, this is Crow. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Have a good NFL season.